Okay, we're here at Gamescom again, and we are going to talk about Army of Two, The Devil's Cartel. First of all, thank you for joining us.
Sure.
Just give us a quick intro and tell us what you do on the game.
Sure, my name's Julian Beak. I'm the executive producer of Army of Two, The Devil's Cartel. The game is being made by a new studio, Visceral Studios, with a new team and a new engine, Frostbite 2, in a new setting. It's in Mexico.
Right.
Yeah.
So, and with new characters, I believe, as well.
That's right. So people will be familiar with Salem and Rios. They're in the game. Two new private military contractors, Alpha and Bravo, work for Salem and Rios. And so all 4 characters are in the game.
New engine, that must be a big deal for a game coming from one game to another. This whole new engine, what was it? Were there a lot of challenges in that? And had you worked with Frostbite 2 before, or is this all new ground for you?
I've never worked with Frostbite 2, and I'd say the only challenge is to stop my team from blowing everything up in the game, because it is so easy to use. So it's a very fast transition. It actually made it easier for the team to just concentrate on the creative. So when we think of new features, if we think of making features better, we're spending all our time doing that instead of worrying about the engine. And this engine is used by a lot of teams, so we get a huge benefit there. We'll have another team actually say, hey, this is how we did this, and they show us how to do it, and we get it in the game even faster. So we love it.
So that was leading my next question. Has there been this cross working with other EA studios to get the most out of the engine?
Absolutely.
Oh, great.
It's really helpful. Right now, Medal of Honor is using it. Of course, Battlefield, everyone knows that. So people in Sweden, the United States, even in China, they're all helping us out make this game.
You talked about destruction. In the first 2 games, there was just levels of destruction because there was a lot of chaos going on, but it didn't really play too much into the gameplay at all. Is that now with Frostbite, are you able to integrate it more into what's going on in the gameplay? Or
for sure. I mean, but it goes to the previous comment we were making just about Frostbite making it easy so we could concentrate on gameplay. We decided that destruction should be part of gameplay. So I'll give you an example. We're a cover-based shooter. So I run into cover and I feel like, oh, I'm safe in this cover, and then the enemies start shooting up the cover and they break it, and they eventually can destroy it. So I have to get out of cover and find a new one, and I have to shoot at them. But the same goes for me. I might go into Overkill and destroy all their cover. Now they have nowhere to hide, and I take them out. So destruction is absolutely, it's fun in games, but we've also tried to make it part of the gameplay.
I think cover-based shooters really benefit from having their main mechanic taken away sometimes, because it makes you think and not just sit behind firing over the top. Oh, that's a great idea. The old characters had very strong personalities, let's say, right? Are these new characters like that, or are they meant to more embody the player and have the player play through them? Or
the new characters, Alpha and Bravo, they have personalities. Salem and Rios had personality. These two don't have the same personality as those two, but all that's to say is that you'll get sort of 4 personalities out of the game. So you'll get that really, I mean, polarizing is maybe too strong a word, but you got these really different characters in Salem and Rios, and Alpha and Bravo are going to actually take cues from those two, and they'll go on their own journey in the game for you to flesh out and feel what their characters are.
Now, one of the big things obviously is co-op in Army of Two, the series, and most importantly the interaction between the players when it's not really gameplay, the social interaction and the fist bumping and that. And we still got all that stuff. Is that all?
No, it's not all of it is staying. What we wanted to do is focus all of the controls that you're doing in the game around a third-person shooter that's fun to do, that is about cover, is about co-op, and we still have banter, for sure. But the buttons on your controller predominantly play the game, and the banter will happen naturally. The other thing we're hoping is that the banter is going to happen on the couch. So we're going to play, and I'm going to, dig my elbow into your rib and say, you got to take on these guys and getting killed here. So we're hoping that, couch co-op is sort of the original multiplayer, and because it's a cooperative game, we're hoping that a lot of those conversations are either going to be on the headset or they're going to be on the couch. There is definitely some banter in the game, but
I think it might be that in the past that sort of interaction may have drawn away from the gameplay a little bit because people would spend a good deal of a co-op session smacking each other
when
in the
it's
face.
fun, you can't stop people from doing it. There's no question. But it's almost like someone's phone buzzing and them being distracted from the actual gameplay. We're trying to really allow the player. I mean, Visceral Studios is about intensity, immersion. That we want to bring the action to you, and we want you to experience it and be kind of maybe even a bit overwhelmed by it. Certainly in Dead Space, when things happen to you, you've kind of got to give it all your attention. So we're bringing that to Army of Two, the Devil's Card.
Before we get finished, then tell us about Overkill.
Sure, I'm happy to tell you about Overkill. So in the previous games, there were all sorts of co-op moves that you could do, scenarios where you felt like you were cooperating with your buddy. Maybe you were taking the aggro of the enemies that really, that's all their attention is on one player, so the other guy can get around. We wanted to reward that every time you do it in the game. Not make it just set pieces, but throughout the game, we detect whether you're tag team killing a guy, whether you're flanking, you're the guy taking aggro, and we reward you points every time you do that. We're just constantly rewarding you. Those points are overkill points. When you have enough, you can go into overkill, and overkill is you're super powerful, and you can jump out of cover and just go at your enemies right away, and you're destroying cover, you're destroying walls, you're doing everything. It's a great time, and it's a loop. So when you come out of Overkill, you keep cooperating with your buddy, you're going to earn Overkill again. So you can use it defensively when you're just overwhelmed by there's 10 guys and oh my gosh, I'm going to die. Go into Overkill and that's so you can use it as a save. But it's also offensively. In the demo that we had here today, we really wanted to get through to kill that RPG guy, so we wouldn't take out our partner in the helicopter. There's lots of moments in the game where we're going to split you up and give you very unique tasks. We want Army of Two, the Devil's Cartel, to make co-op essential to the game, not an option. It's essential that you cooperate. Then you'll earn more Overkill points, and then you go into Overkill again. So there's Overkill in a nutshell.
Can you tell us when we'll be getting our hands on the game approximately, and what platforms it's releasing on?
Sure. Army of Two, the Devil's Cartel, launches March 2013 on the Xbox 360 and the PlayStation 3.
Excellent. Thank you very much for your time.
Yeah, you're very welcome.
Thank you.
Yeah.